All right. All right. Starting a little early. Well, actually, I was supposed to be starting right now anyway. Gonna give it a second, let folks come on down. Come on down. Pie. Oh well. Peace, 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 peace. I hope you're doing all right on this beautiful Saturday. We're gonna get started in a few. Give folks a second to come on in. Got any questions? Yeah, go ahead and do this real quick. Bam. Like that there. Alrighty. Hmm. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll pass on that today. Got the notes together. All right. All right. Peace, 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 peace. I'm Rami Salam Mel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. We have an update for you on the Rise of the Moors Militia Wakefield standoff trial. Actually, that is what I wanted to do. I want to get an article real quick, if I could. If I could, just give me a moment here. We're going to get started. Do this article real quick. Then we're going to play a little clip. Okay, is this the... Yeah, perfect. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Peace, 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 peace. Let me do this real quick. Bam. So just to give you a quick review, this is the Rise of the Moors situation. It happened July 3rd, 2021, almost 2 years ago. 11 males were arrested Saturday following an hours long armed standoff that partially shut down Interstate 95 in Wakefield, Massachusetts. And at this time, only some of them were refusing their identification. All of the suspects are charged with conspiracy to commit a crime, unlawful possession of guns and ammunition, possession of a high-capacity magazine, use of body armor in a crime, and improper storage of firearms in a vehicle. Hernandez, Johnson, Dow, and the unnamed teen are also charged with giving a false name to police. And the troopers recovered 3 AR-15 rifles, 2 pistols, a bolt-action rifle, shotgun, and a short barrel rifle. The group refers to itself as a militia and said they adhered to more sovereign ideology, police said. One of the people arrested was a male juvenile, and 2 others refused to give their name. And it just goes on to highlight, the rest of it. I will say, just to clarify, 11 were arrested at the time, but one of them was a minor, and So it doesn't seem like he was charged or that person was charged. So we had 10 people in custody. Walaikum salam, good brother. And from there, let me give a summary. Well, actually, before I get a summary real quick, I'll play this clip. It is actually from a part of the trial. I mean, part of a court hearing, excuse me. And apparently Jamal live broadcasted it to his page.
We will then reconvene, and I'll refer the matter back to first session. So I'm leaving up to him the final call as to whether it's appropriate to step out of protocol and set the trial date this way in this case. I will try to have a decision for you on the motion to reconsider as soon as possible. Is there anything else that we need to address today? No, Your Honor. Thank you.
I did have a question about last hearing. We talked about the sovereign citizen motion and the other motion I filed. Did you make a decision on whether or not you wanted to hear those?
I have not, Mr. Abdullah-Bey, to be candid with you. I was focused on this motion and lost track of them. Can you tell me, let me pull them out so I don't do that again. You don't happen to know what paper numbers those are, do you?
I don't.
Do you know when they were filed?
No, because I mailed them. I didn't go in. So
roughly when did you mail them?
Oh man. I can check the date. Hold on. I just have to find the original.
Your Honor, it's number 82. 82? Is it just one motion?
There were two. One was requesting to bar the courts, the Commonwealth, the prosecutor, and everyone else from identifying me as a sovereign citizen. And then the other one was asking to give full faith and credit to specific documents that may affect my status in this court, challenging,
That's
of course, jurisdiction.
Okay. The motion to bar anyone from referring to you as a sovereign citizen is more in the nature, as I understand it, of a motion to eliminate for trial. In other words, I don't usually bar anybody from referring to anybody a certain way in the pretrial phase because I can sort out claims that are substantive and claims that are not. So I wouldn't typically hear that before the trial. That's more of a trial motion. Moreover, I haven't heard either Mr. Van Epps or Mr. Rawl, either in their argument or in their papers, refer to any of the three of you as sovereign citizens.
So there is specific evidence that the Commonwealth plans to enter. Well, I'm not sure how I should phrase that. There are particular articles that the Commonwealth plans on entering as evidence where I'm referred to as a sovereign citizen. And right. Throughout the entire preliminary hearings.
That's a motion to eliminate for the trial judge. In other words, I generally don't decide trial motions until I know that I'm the trial judge. But I don't see any reason to do it here.
And the fact that it's been used against me this entire preliminary process doesn't mean anything?
It's not clear to me that it has been used against you, or maybe
it has. And if I may, just
it hasn't affected any decision that I've made, either directly or indirectly. I don't think that the term sovereign citizen has any legal meaning. It certainly has no legal meaning to me.
Yes, but it has been used against me.
It couldn't be used against you in my courtroom any more than if somebody called you a Jabberwock.
I understand that, but
so
my question pertains to the entire preliminary process where Mr. Van Epps has used.
I just had to come on real quick and say I thought that was kind of funny. I know they're really being serious, but I just found that a little funny. He's talking about jab walk. I ain't gonna get to see. If you know, you know. Anyways, we'll get back to it.
Used the claim that we don't believe in the laws, or we believe that the laws don't apply to us, or he has said out of his own mouth that we're sovereign citizens during dangerousness hearings, during several hearings where he's used this term, but you're saying has no legal meaning, but it has still been used against us. So how is it that this term has no legal meaning, but it implies domestic terrorism and so-called paper terrorism, but there has been no evidentiary hearing to prove that I am that. It's confusing to me. And to me, it appears that my entire preliminary right to due process has been violated because I've been labeled something without any evidence to prove that I'm that thing. And decisions have been made regarding things that negatively affect me, negatively affect my defense, negatively affect my status as being innocent until proven guilty. And he's just been allowed to just say it. But now, and you're the only judge that has been honest with me about this. Now you're telling me it has no legal standing, but even the police are briefed on what sovereign citizens are, because Trooper Casey said out of his own mouth within the first 13 minutes of the incident, telling another officer that arrived on the scene that we're sovereign citizens. So it doesn't make sense how the court is saying that it doesn't have a legal status, but police officers are being trained on this thing regarding sovereign citizens as if it's a legal status of people that don't believe in the law. It's very confusing to me.
I can't speak for what police officers say. Police officers, like everybody else, get things right sometimes and wrong sometimes. What I can tell you is this: the term sovereign citizen has no meaning to me. I haven't seen any decision of any other judge in this case that has invoked or otherwise rested anything on a claim of sovereign citizenship. And I believe pretty strongly that's because it doesn't have any meaning. It's a term that's used popularly in the sort of the popular parlance, but it has no legal meaning. I certainly haven't held it against anyone that they've been called a sovereign citizen because it has no legal significance. What I'll do with these motions, I'll look and see whether I'm going to need to have a hearing on them. With respect to the sovereign citizen motion, I'm pretty sure I'm going to defer that for the trial judge, because the trial judge may want to make a ruling on that motion to preclude references in front of the jury. We really worry in these type of motions about juries because they're the ones who have to make the findings of fact.
And if jury who has been infected because the media has used this, and as well as my peer just said, the prosecutor has used this, and judges have denied, judges before you, which you've seen maybe like 10 judges before you, have denied motions that we have put in on the using the excuse that we are sovereign citizens.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen any evidence of that. In any event, the motions, I will let you know if I think a hearing is required. It looks to me as if the hearing on the motion that pertains to the full faith and credit clause recapitulates issues that have been presented and decided, but I can't know that.
That has been decided for other defendants where I wasn't joined in those motions. I wasn't even aware that those things were filed, and I'm pretty sure they didn't make the arguments that I've made. But
all right, I'm not. What I can tell you is I'm not going to have a hearing on it now because I haven't prepared for a hearing on it now, and I don't want to make decisions off the cuff. I'll review it and determine if I need a hearing or not. If I need a hearing, we'll schedule one.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right, so I wanted to play that just because in a previous video I spoke about how Jamal had filed a motion to try and stop the prosecution from referring to him as a sovereign citizen. And if you didn't catch what the judge was saying, is that that he'll defer that for the actual trial judge. If the trial judge wants to make a decision, then that's cool. But sovereign citizen in the courtroom, or in a real legal sense, doesn't have any legal meaning, because it's not like identifying being called a sovereign citizen is some sort of criminal act, or it makes you guilty of a criminal act. It's the actions and the activities that you're doing that gets you identified or labeled as a sovereign citizen. But all of that being said, I wanted to summarize real briefly where the case stands now. Again, it was 11 people initially arrested in the Rise of the Moors militia group. One of them was a minor, so that left 10 individuals. From there, 2 have already pled guilty. One, Wilfredo Hernandez, he received 2 years. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison, 3 years probation. And then also Aaron Johnson pled guilty. He received 3 years in prison and 2 years probation. From there, we have Lamar Dow, who had trial scheduled for May 22nd, 2023, did not attend the trial. And so his case is on pause right now. I mean, a warrant was issued for his arrest, so that's that for him. Then we have Robert Rodriguez. His trial is scheduled for September 19th, 2023. Then we have Connell Pierre and Omar Malik Antonio. Both of their trials are scheduled for August 7th, 2023. Now, what's interesting about those two in particular, Connell Pierre and Omar Malik Antonio, both of them did not want their case to be joined with Jamal and 2 other people I'll get to in a second. It says in there that they were actually opposed to having their case joined with Jamal and a couple of other defendants to all be tried as a group. And I thought that was interesting. And so they are actually the first 2 up for a actual jury trial, which is August 7th, 2023. Then we have Quinn Cumberlander. His trial is scheduled for August 21st, 2023. He had several issues with bail. And so I believe his bail was after not showing up, I believe twice in court to some trial dates. His bail was revoked, and so I believe he's being held in jail until his trial. Then we have the final 3: Jamal Latimer or Jamal Abdullah Bey, Jamal Aban El Kurig, and Stephen Perez. All have their trial rescheduled for February 26, 2024. Actually, in that video, I could have showed you, but in the video, that was another thing that was discussed in that trial, that hearing date, that court hearing, was the scheduling for the trial. And there were several issues going on. They wanted to make certain dates, but different conflicting schedules and things. So it got moved all the way back to February 26, 2024. So that's quite a while, considering, they were arrested in 2021, so that's almost, 2.5 years. So that summarizes where the 10 remaining individuals of the Rise of the Moor militia group are. 2 have already pled guilty. One is on the run, essentially. Blue trial. A warrant is issued for his. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I'll get to that in a second. One, blue trial. Warrant issued for his arrest. Two, have court coming up in August and didn't want to be grouped in with the other group that has court coming up court in next year, 2024, in February. And then, and actually, one of those individuals, Stephen Perez, also has a federal case that was mentioned in the hearing, the trial hearing. The hearing, court hearing. Is that Stephen Perez has a federal case that he has to make an appearance for, or that he has to get sorted out and situated. So there's a lot of there's a lot of things going on with this group. Yeah, that is the summary right now. So I think the next time, unless there's some sort of change or some sort of update before then, I will probably update you all around August, before or the day of, maybe the day after the trial for Conal Pierre and Omar Malik Antonio. Are there any questions before I get up out of here? Because I have to get something to eat. I'm hungry. Actually, I have to. Thank you for that question. I need to tap in. I haven't reached out to him. We was in communication offline for a while, but I had some things going on and I lost track and contact. So I got to reach back out to that good brother, brother Sadat. Any other questions before I get up out of here? Oh, I do want to say, actually, before I go, is that for those of you that may not understand, if you're, learning about Moors through this Rise of the Moor Militia case, or you just stumbled onto this video and, you see people in fezzes and then you see some people doing sovereign citizen stuff, please understand that there's an individual named Noble Drew Ali, who is the founder of the Moor Science Temple of America, which is an organization that was created essentially. Well, let me not quote, myself. Let me quote Noble Drew Ali himself. He has a speech. I'll show you, actually. I'll show you, because man knows not by being told. Excuse me. Before I get up out of here, just to make the clear. Trying to get this out of the way. There's people that you may see online claiming themselves to be Moors, but understand that Noble Drew Ali created the Moor Science Temple of America, and he never taught any of that sovereign citizen stuff. He never taught Moors that, the United States doesn't have jurisdiction, or that Moors should claim property, or that Moors should drive or travel without a license, or that Moors or Moorish Americans should bear arms or have weapons without the proper registration and license. Noble Drew Ali never taught any of that. As it says right here, pardon me, as it says right here in his Moorish Leaders Historical Message to America, in connection with the aims, objects, rules, and regulations of the Moor Science Temple of America, I deem it proper to submit to you a brief statement of our organization covering its inception, rise, and progress, and of the Mohammedan religion. which I hope will be satisfactory to you, and by the means of causing you to at all times adhere to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in your relations with mankind in general. I further most anxiously hope this brief statement will help you to more clearly see the duty and wisdom of at all times upholding these fundamental principles which are desired for our civilization of our posterity, such as obedience to law, respect and loyalty to government, tolerance, and unity. Noble Drew Ali taught for us to be obedient to the law, respect and have loyalty to the government. Further on at the bottom here, it says, the object of our organization is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and teach those things necessary to make our members better citizens. It was it was the Moore Science Temple of America. What Noble Drew Ali taught was specifically to help Moorish Americans, so-called black people, so-called Negroes, so-called people of color, so-called African Americans, to help us be better citizens of the United States of America, not of Moorish Empire, Moroccan Empire, or any of that other stuff. So I say all of that to say, if you see individuals identifying themselves as Moors or Moorish Americans, but they are teaching or they are propagating or they are engaging in any sort of sovereign citizen type activity, understand that they are doing something that is completely against what Noble Drew Ali taught, what the Moorish Science Temple of America is about, and what true Moorish Americans represent. So and I understand that it is complicated. You see people calling themselves Moors. They got the feds. They saying Noble Drew Ali. How do you know the difference? The difference is true Moorish Americans, people that follow the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. The Moorish Science Temple of America as an organization is about uplifting fallen humanity and making its members better citizens of the United States of America or whatever nation they are a part of. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Much love to everyone out there. Love instead of hate. Love is the key. Love is the way. Much love to you and yours. And let's all have a great day. Peace.